I put it in, and I said to him, I'm willing to lose. I think it was $113, $112. I bought three shares of it. Bought 3 shares. So somebody asked me too on Instagram the other day, what was my emotional state? And I said, my emotional state was I presumed I would lose $112. I was absolutely like, I had no doubt I am going to lose.
You know what 99% do, Kim? They never think about that. You know, and we talk about this all the time. They think about the new iPad or the new car. You know, they don't even think about that. And so you're ahead of so many right off the bat.
Okay.
I'll tell you that. Welcome back to the SteadyTrade podcast, everyone. I am Tim Bohen, back here with Kim and Steven. We got some big news to announce. Kim likes to seem to downplay it, but everyone's got to start somewhere. So we would like to bring an update from her. And then we're just going to kind of talk about kind of the general state of the market. It's wild. We had a recent episode. I wish I had time to listen to it. It just came out yesterday, a follow-up episode with JJ. VWAP trader. Here we are. It's interesting, the cycles in the penny stock market, and it just repeats and it repeats and it repeats. And if you've listened to recent episodes, I got caught up in the hype. I was in love with this idea of Reddit and the Wall Street bets, and it is, I don't know if the team has time to insert cricket noises right now, but it's like all of a sudden that's like wiped off the, all diamond hands, rainbow bears. I mean, it was so fun.
Tendies.
I was getting me some tendies, man.
I wanted some tendies. I haven't wanted chicken tenders. I was like, I think I want some chicken tenders.
It was such an amazing 2 weeks. And I'm not saying it's completely over here. We're recording middle of February, but it was just the memes and first of all, the trades. I mean, it was like, the action, it was incredible, and it was just so much fun, and
it was fun.
The bummer is here we are, and that, and I hope nobody got hurt in it, but simple fact is somebody paid $400 for GME, and somebody's probably still holding GME at 40, here we are, but anyway, we're just going to kind of talk about the state of the market. Speaking of manias, we hit all-time highs on Bitcoin today, broke 52 or touched 52,000. It's amazing to think about, in Stephen and many of the listeners will remember these stocks, Riot, Mara, they were the jokes forever, going back to 2017. Here we are, Riot's at $70. And BT, again, hit pieces. Everybody wants to bash them. Here they are still hanging around. So there's always a trade everywhere, or as we like to say, or Jim Cramer says, there's always a trade out there. But yeah, so just going to kind of catch up with the team here, catch up with all of you. Check out those episodes with JJ. I think they're some of our, again, I didn't hear the most recent one. I had to fly to Austin to train with Tim Kennedy, but get my bromance on with my man there. But the comments I've seen, everybody has just been raving about that episode. So
yeah.
Welcome back, Kim. Episode. Welcome back, Steven. So
well, thank you for having us. It was such a good episode, wasn't it, Steven, with JJ?
Yeah, I mean, still need to get my head around some of what he's saying, but at the same time, it's not really the hedge funds running the markets anymore. It's the Robin Hooders, the Robin Hodlers, the High of Daylers.
Or just, even again, just that small investor, like we were talking, I just want to drop this in there, interrupting like always, but I want to bring it up because we talked about it before the podcast. I mean, and it's a little thing, but just yesterday, Goldman Sachs through their Marcus arm, which is kind of their consumer arm, but here's Goldman Sachs saying you can open a managed account with $1,000. And, I mean, it's just like, and we were joking, it's like, I mean, I think for Goldman Sachs to even pick up the phone, you got to be worth millions. And here they are. They're recognizing. I mean, listen, those guys are they're the smartest guys out. They're the smartest guys in the room. And they're like, we want these tendies, baby.
That's right. We want this cash. We'll take that $1,000 times a million people.
But anyway, finish your point, Stephen. Sorry.
No, well, the crazy thing, and it links to Kim's first trade ever, but the crazy thing is Mora and Riot were kind of jokes. They were joke companies, but I guess the stock market can make and break companies. And if people keep buying it, even though it keeps on raising funds and diluting, that money, well, it might go to a CEO to buy a nice house, is ultimately some of that money is going to go into business. And if they are legitimately attached to a hot sector, they're going to become real. They're going to come legit. So maybe Mora and Riot are potentially big companies in the future. I don't know. I mean, the stock price seems to suggest. But
yeah, again with Riot, you mentioned. I mean, that was one of the most, going back to the 2017 run when Bitcoin first went to 20,000. One of the most ridiculed stocks. Bitcoin would perk, Riot spike up, everybody short it would fade back. But like Steven said, it's like at some point, unless you're completely corrupt, which I'm not saying they are, I'm assuming they have good intentions. At some point, you have so much cash that you start buying some Bitcoin. Riot's a mining operation. You're like, we got so much money. I got my Lambo, I got my yacht, I got I got my 3 houses. Let's buy some mining machines and let's turn this into something. And I think that's what we're seeing with some of these. They go from jokes to like, we got so much money, let's do what we said we were gonna do. Yeah.
Wow. But it's also like, all right, yeah, let's be part of a hot sector. And then they're like, hang on a minute, this is actually not just a hot sector, it's real now. If it's real, may as well be the first one in the door.
It's
it's interesting. But Kim, I'm super curious with you. So you took your first trade. It was Mora,
You're
right?
telling me, by the way, you're holding out on me here.
So I put it out on. I should have told you. I put it on Twitter.
Did you win? Did you lose? Are you
try? I
did.
Every time I go to Twitter, I try and I somehow they keep regenerating. I'm like Wolverine, but every time I go to Twitter, I gouge out my eyeballs with this knife. So anyway.
That is some visual, dude. Gross. Oh, and by the way, you gave me such a hard time about The Shining that I went home that night. I watched the trailer, not even halfway through, and made my decision that this is never going to happen.
Shining's
I couldn't even get through the trailer. I can't do it, dude. I cannot do it. I even called a friend. I said, would you watch this?
That's what I meant to text you. I was going to say, call a friend.
I did.
Have them come over.
And they asked if I had lost.
Get a bottle of wine.
You can't even watch. You can't even watch blah, blah, blah movie. She's like, and you want to watch this? And then you know what happened? She was like, Kim, is something wrong with you? Because you close your eyes for XYZ. I was like, I know, but it's supposed to be such an artist's creative movie. And she's like, okay, I think you forgot who you are. And so you know what happened afterwards? This story about Shelley Duvall losing her mind comes out like the next day.
So actually, Stephen, and this spoiler alert, I'm gonna give Pasquale's probably gonna get mad at me right now. So Stephen, I've had this idea for basically a commercial or a promotion for like the podcast for years. And you're familiar with The Shining, right?
Yeah, I love it. Great movie.
Probably, man, I don't know.
Best.
I don't know about my favorite, but it's top 5. Definitely top 5. I've watched it.
The Sixth Sense, both are absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and
I was
so
able to see that.
So anyway, I'd had this, and Stephen, you'll appreciate this. So Pasquale does a lot of videography with the team, and he's actually a very creative guy. He's worked on movies and stuff like that. So we've always had this idea of like a promo for the podcast where, we'd film it in reverse. I'd grow out the beard, I'd grow out the hair, and I would be Jack Torrance. But instead of going to the Overlook Hotel to write my book, I would be going to the Overlook Hotel to figure out my trading. Okay. It's like, I just can't make this work. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to go to the hotel with the family and I'm going to figure this out. So then instead of, Jack at the typewriter saying, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy over and over and over again, I would be shorting low floats over and over again and just getting stopped and getting stopped. And you would see that de-evolution, just like in The Shining, where Jack comes, remember in the beginning, he's like, hey, he's like a happy guy. And then it would just get darker and darker and darker. And then at the end, we would spin it and we would have a happy ending. Instead of murdering my family with an axe, the Steady Trade podcast would appear and the skies would open up. And then the family and I would like walk off hand in hand because I finally figured out to quit short and low floats. So what do you think?
I think that it would be a pretty high budget production, but it would probably be fun to do. If the money's there, do it. The money's there.
But seriously, that's Ben Pasquale's my plan for like 2 winners.
It's a great
now.
idea.
Because
It's a great idea.
I mean, I've got 2 foot of snow. We were just gonna do it at my house, and I got 2 foot of snow out there. And now winter's almost over, so it's another year it'll go by. That's why I gave out the idea. Maybe it'll never happen, but that's been our idea forever. So yeah,
It's a good idea. I like
just be
it.
sitting in that huge room with my little like some shitty old laptop. And just like, and then we do like graphics like stopped, and then the beard gets longer, the hair gets razzlier, so.
This is why he wanted me to see The Shining, because he wants me to interpret if this, directorial debut is going to be a success. But I can't watch horror. I can't watch horror.
You realize it's fake,
a bit.
right? You realize it. It is a movie, right?
I know. It's still, I'm too empathic to be able to separate between. I just can't take that kind of violence in, and just the trailer. The trailer is. I couldn't get. The trailer was hard with just that music and the blood coming out of the walls. I was like, I'm done. I'm sorry, Tim. I love you, man. I've watched freaking Roadhouse. I tried, but this is just not going to happen.
But it's Stanley Kubrick. It's Jack Nicholson.
I know.
It's
Stephen
that's
why
King.
I tried. My friend was really confused. She's like, you want to watch what? She's like, and she can watch anything. But she's like, Kim, you can't watch these kind of movies, remember? I'm like, I know, but it's so artistic. Maybe I can get past it all. She's like, I don't think so. So I start watching the trailer. I'm like, nope, can't do it.
As another Stanley Kubrick reference, which I'm a huge fanboy of Kubrick, I'm just gonna do the Clockwork Orange on you, where we pin your eyes open.
Can't, no.
And make you watch. I'll just spritz your eyes with some Visine every now and then.
That would be so mean.
Anyway, that went off the rails. So if you actually drop us a comment. I'm curious. What do you think about? What do you think about the Tim and Pasquale's promo for the Steady Trade podcast? Steven could make an appearance. Kim's got it. You can't be in it unless you watch the movie.
That's okay. I'll be okay not being in it.
Steven, what would your character be?
How about I got Jack. Comes in at the end?
I'd be the butler who just serves you drinks all the time.
I kind of like that. Yep.
Is there a butler?
Well, there's a bartender. There's a bartender.
Yeah.
I think you guys. Maybe Steven will just tell me the story. My one friend, I couldn't watch Pulp Fiction, so she spent 2 hours and told me the whole movie, line by line.
Movie as well. That's not violent. That is violent, but it's not scary.
But it's violent. But she told me the whole movie over 2 hours. So I think
kind of watch
maybe you guys could do that.
Steven, I think you could be like Danny. We could make you, my son. We could do some special effects, have you on your knees instead,
Yeah, but we could
Red
just
Rum,
have that.
Red Rum. You'd be good.
Or you could just put a wig on his and I'll be one of the 2 girls who are dead.
Fair enough. So
no, but
I've seen the imagery.
Netflix technology, yeah. With Netflix, you can turn back age, can't you?
Okay. All right. You're proud of me. So a 1978 profit, 20%.
You made $19. You made 20%.
Beautiful. But so walk us through this. So ticker thesis. Okay. Well, I want to know. I want to know the how and the why. Okay. So give us the ticker. Give us the why.
Mara.
Okay. So
Mara. Why? Because I understood. So Bryce Davis, shout out to him. He held my hand through this whole thing. I really, I probably did
What
something
day?
that
Sorry.
this was Friday.
Friday. Okay, sorry.
Friday. So I, Bryce and I have been doing kind of these tutorials, and I just thought, because I've been so busy and not able to really put time into it, I thought I want to see just what happens emotionally when skin is in the game. So he and I connected last Thursday about it, and we were talking, and then he said, Bitcoin's possibly over this long weekend going to break 50, and this would be, one of the, he showed me three that would be, adjacent or in that Hawk sector that
Sympathy
could
play.
be impacted by it.
Yep.
Sympathy plays. That's right. So he's like, so I looked at all three of them. And then I decided Mara was the one, just because of where it was and where it potentially could go. And so, but I just didn't even know how to I'm an ally. So just how to identify it, how to, put it in. I just want to get familiar with all of that.
Mechanics. The
mechanics. Exactly.
Yeah, it's like, listen, it's like at the end of the day, it's like if you got a new word processing package,
correct.
You got to know how to create a new file, how to create a new document, how to boldface, how to do bullets or whatever. It's like,
exactly.
So you're getting the mechanics down. Yep.
Correct.
So.
And I just thought all of this gets me exposed to it. Also, I wanted to look at it all day Friday. Let me think this through. Did I do it on Thursday? It's possible I did it Thursday afternoon, Tim, because I did it Thursday because I wanted to watch it Friday, wanted to watch it over the weekend. And I thought also it'll force me to keep checking on it, right? If I'm in the game. So I put it in, and I said to him, I'm willing to lose. I think it was $113, $112. I bought three shares of it. Bought three shares. So somebody asked me too on Instagram the other day, what was my emotional state? And I said, my emotional state was, I presumed I would lose $112. I was absolutely like, I had no doubt I am going to lose.
Because you know what 99% do, Kim? They never think about that, and we talk about this all the time. They think about the new iPad or the new car, they don't even think about that. And so you're ahead of so many right off the bat.
Okay.
I'll tell you that.
So I must ask Bryce 17 times, am I going to, with however I do this, lose anything more than $112? He's like, no, Kim, you cannot lose. I was like, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if this happens? What if that happens? Could I lose more than 112? No. I was like, as long as I don't lose more than 112, I'm okay. So we put the thing into place, and then I watched it. And as soon as I put it into place, I think within an hour, it started to go up. And then I watched it over the weekend and kept going up. And then yesterday, Tuesday, right?
Yep.
After the holiday weekend.
We had the holiday weekend.
Monday.
Yep. So markets were closed Monday. Yep.
So Bryce checks in like 11 a.m. Hawaii time, which is like, no, it must have been before the market closed. Oh, you know what else? I bought it after the market closed on Thursday too, which was interesting. Maybe it was Friday. Sorry, I can't remember now. But anyway, so I get to yesterday, before the market closed, and Bryce is like, where are you at with Mara? Are you still holding it? I said, yes, because, it's all gone up. And he was like, I said, maybe I should stay in it. That's what I said. I said, maybe I should stay in it because it's going so well. And I thought, well, a little bit more might be nice. And then I said, he goes, what's the percentage of your profit? I said, we figured out. He told me 20% right now. What are you at? It was at 1978. And he goes, so it could go up, Kim, like here are your two choices, right? Or you could say 20% is a nice profit.
Well, great job, Bryce. Great coaching, Bryce.
He was so good. And then I thought to myself, this is the moment where it's so tempting to stay in. Everything inside of you wants to stay in, but that is not the thing to do. So I said, I'm going to sell it. So he told me exactly how to sell it. Within an hour of me letting it go, it started to go down. I sold it at 44. And
Beautiful.
Within an hour, it was at 43 something. And then I've been watching it. Now I think it's back at 44. But the point is, I'm just so happy that I noticed I was definitely feeling greedy.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I gotta whined from that.
See, and again, it's funny, like, and Steven, the listeners will know this will probably go a little over your head, Kim, but, OTCs have been so hot. And, and OTCs, over-the-counter pink sheet stocks, I mean, they're the worst of the worst of the worst. And, like, we were talking about one in SteadyTrade team this morning. I mean, it's gapping up 40%. And a lot of people took it overnight from yesterday. And I'm like, listen, remember what we're doing here. Yeah. Now, could this go higher? Sure.
But is it worth the risk? Is it worth the risk?
And my quote, and listen, this isn't my quote, I stole it, but what I said was, I'm like, listen, what are you doing right now? And Mara's at least Mara's kind of a real stock, but I'm making the analogy here. OTCs are scams. They're all scams. I'm like, you're up 40% overnight, 40% overnight. Some people go all year. Okay.
Yep.
In a scam stock, and you're wavering. So are you trading? Are you trading or are you gambling? And very similar to what I mean. Listen, 20% on your first trade on a hot sector play overnight, and you can just walk away with 20%. But that the demon of
temptation.
Demon of Steven was on your shoulder there. Steven would have had to shorten it over the weekend.
But I'm interested though. But Kim, like, the psychology, the theory inside out. So I'm just curious, what was the difference between knowing the theory of what to think and how you actually thought?
Perfect.
Well, I think I noticed that, it's high. I made some money. I want to make more money. I noticed that about myself. And as soon as I noticed that, I thought, now I'm not being rational. Now I'm in a place of what ifing this. And if I'm in a place of what ifing, that probably means I've lost my neutrality.
You mean where you weren't like, looking at that 20% and jumping over, looking at a new purse, maybe a new pair of shoes or something?
No,
like,
maybe it would buy my lunch. I don't think it would buy the kind of purses I like.
But conceptually, you're thinking, because again,
no, I just don't want to lose my
You're
money.
Ahead. I mean, because of your training,
all I
you're
could
ahead
think
of
of,
so many people.
if I'm 112, if I haven't lost $112, I have won.
Perfect.
I'm like, if I come away not losing 112, but losing 90, I'm ahead.
Yep.
Like, so to be positive 1978 instead of negative 112, I'm like, that is enough. 20% is enough. It's my first trade. I still don't know what I'm doing. I didn't even have the exit amount, which I feel is critical because this is so new to me. But I was like, okay, I didn't have an exit number set. 20% sounds like a lot of money. Like, it's a lot of a percentage. It's not so much cash money, a lot, but 20% for somebody who doesn't really know what they're doing yet. I think I got
and that's again, I love this. Well done, by the way. But that I love, and to the listener out there, I mean, listen, it's $20. Okay, $20 ain't changing Kim's life, but she recognized, again, hey, I mean, listen, you go an entire year in the hedge fund industry and make 20 grand, you're a rock star, man. Or I'm sorry, 20%.
Totally.
And again, it's just one trade, but she recognizes the fact that this is not bad. I mean, it's $20, but it's percent wise.
I just kept looking. You guys always say, don't look at the dollar, look at the percentage.
Exactly.
So, it's easy to look, it's only $20. But again, I was really coming from a place of, but I didn't lose 112. So that is a good feeling. And I kept thinking, okay, look at the percentage, don't look at the dollar amount. Because it's hard not to compare yourself to, like, everybody out there now who's making all this coin. And you're just like, but I'm like, no, I am just starting out. I noticed the greed show up, and I think I just noticed it.
Did you immediately go out and buy $20 in tendies?
No, I didn't. I just want to look at it in my account for a little while and be like, look at that. It doesn't say minus 112. That is a win.
So what'd you think? Especially from an emotional standpoint, what'd you think of that little 2-day journey you went on?
It was 3 days because it was a 3-day weekend.
Yep.
So I'll tell you, I want more.
That's what I was setting you up for.
Oh, well,
I was waiting for you to say you maxed out, you used up all your day trades yesterday or something.
No, but if for a swing, there's no day trade. But yeah, I mean, that's the tough part, right? You can start with the best intentions. You can start with the good discipline.
Yeah.
But where things go wrong is where it's quiet one day and you're used to making money and it's quiet one day and you're like, do you know what it is? I've got discipline. I'm not going to fall into this trap. But on day 2, you screw something up. And then that's 2 days without making money. And you're used to making a lot of money.
Yeah.
Then the 3rd day, it's quiet. You lose composure. Some volume comes in that you didn't expect if you're short, or something drops all of a sudden where you didn't expect it to fall through, and you don't cut for a split second. Yeah. The discipline and the psychology. It's easy to be disciplined when things are going well. It's easy to be disciplined when you're new. It's very tough to be disciplined when things are going against you.
I agree. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. And, honestly, this weekend, part of what was fascinating was just there was a lot of volatility personally going on for me. And I was just not in the best kind of headspace. So even yesterday when I was making this decision, I was conscious to that. I was like, I could see, it's like, in a way, I noticed that the trading could be a little bit of a distraction from the volatility of what was happening personally for me. And I could see that becoming sort of a place of escape, an escape of what I didn't have solutions for in my personal life. Yeah. So it's like a place where I could see myself just like staying in there and pulling it apart, as opposed to having to be with the volatility that was going on personally for me, because I couldn't come up with a solution for that, right? Felt like I couldn't solve it, because I'm too far away from somebody I care about. So it was like, so I could see, like, I think it was a great experience for me just to become more intimately empathetic to what traders are going through and what the feelings are, like.
Oh, and you can see right now, whenever you're doing your next coaching session and someone says, I was just in this situation and I felt this and this and this, you can be like, I get it. I've been there too. Like, I've felt what you felt. You could say that to people now. You're like, I felt it. I felt it too. This is what you have to do.
True. So because I am so empathic, I sort of have already felt it, because I can pick up sensitively on what people are going through. But now there's just that sense of intimacy to the exact experience that I feel can only help me empathize even more, which is part of the reason why I can't watch The Shining. So there's pluses and minuses to this sensitivity. It's not good when wanting to watch really creative movies, but it is good when working with people.
But just so you know, being stuck in a trade and not cutting it is worse than watching The Shining. So if you can't watch The Shining, don't not cut
that
the trade.
Was so funny, Stephen. I think that's the funniest thing you've ever said. I think you might be right.
Again, especially especially when you're, and listen, I used to aggressively short the front side too, especially when, it ain't good when it's just, when it's skipping against you, man. And
it skips. It's dollars.
It's like that blood coming out of the elevator, man.
I think we should call this episode The Shining. I think what happened is that, I have to say, though, I remember you talking about this one, Stephen. After I sold it, I remember thinking I shouldn't go check. Like an hour later, I was like, I shouldn't go check. But I went and checked because I wanted to see. I wanted to see. But look, that I don't think that is a good idea, because it had gone down. So of course I was elated. But what if it hadn't? Then
you know what I mean? I have no beef with you checking out, because ultimately at this, what I would say, Kim, and this is the way I approach it, and the way I coach is, listen, again, having realistic expectations. We're looking to make Kim into a consistently profitable trader that can I always coach this as like a skill. This is like something, whether it be your coaching or a plumber or an electrician, you know, I always like to use the skilled trades analogy, because it's like you could show up at a job site, you have a skill, I can make $100 today doing some plumbing, you know. But what I say is, let's say Mara was at 70 or 50 or 60 or whatever. That to me just shows that you had the right idea. I tell you, pat yourself on the back. I mean, because you took a realistic gain. You know, you had a good, listen, again, well done, Bryce, if you're listening. Hot sector play, 52-week breakout. We all knew, and I know hindsight's 2020, but I did a webinar Thursday night. We knew Bitcoin was going to break out. What are all these degenerates going to do on a 3-day weekend? I mean, it's like, I mean, especially in this market, you knew everyone was going to pile into Bitcoin, and what happens, you know, Monday night, all-time highs. So hot sector, momentum play, great volume, 52-week breakout. It was strong into the afternoon, and you sold the gap. And if it went to 100, what I would tell you is just be like, you know what? I was on the right freaking stock. I made the right call. You know. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, no.
Would that have also potentially, if it had gone to 100, would that be then how do I know when it's appropriate to reassess what my play was? Like, that wouldn't necessarily mean I did the wrong thing, right? By selling it when I did. So how do you distinguish between?
Well, my opinion, and this is the way I would coach it. It sounds like, and ultimately, you know, this is where I'm kind of recapping and listening to the conversation, but you know, it sounded like you were kind of like uncertain, you know, where you were like, man, am I doing the right decision? You know, is this the right? And you were happy with your percent. You know, anytime you're, especially in day trading, this is something Tim Sykes will say a million times, taught me 15 years ago. When you're trading these volatile stocks, if it doesn't feel right, just get out. Just get out. And that could be a profit or loss, or break even. Because especially right now, I mean, listen, I go back to when I was getting started, you know, commissions could eat you up. But right now, you know, and, you know, depending on your, you know, even if you're not commission free, commissions are super low. If you're like, this just doesn't feel right. Just bail. Yeah. You know, there's, you know, so
I think it was good too, because Bryce, you know, just helped me remember that this is a short term experience, you know, like, and I think that too is probably new for me, because you're thinking, I'm in, you know, I knew I wasn't investing, but yet that default
you still got
setting,
that mindset though.
You still have that mindset. So it was like, no, this, I'm in here for a particular reason, for a particular reaction in the marketplace. And what I hoped would be a certain way this would go for a certain amount of time. I hit probably all of those bars. Now it's time to come out and look for the next one. And then that 20%, if I keep just, you know, I mean, how great would that be? If I keep, 20% on this, 20%, it could add up.
And now your 3 shares is 300 shares, is 3,000 shares, is 30,000 shares. Yeah. So
anyway.
Basically, you just need to repeat what you've just done, just over and over and over again.
Yes.
Maybe swing trading works for you. Maybe.
Well,
stocks.
Well, you know where the rubber's really going to meet the road is when she comes in on Monday morning and she's looking at down 20%. Because we haven't slayed. We slayed to date one trade. She successfully slayed the greed dragon. From the sounds of it.
It's true.
Okay. The greed dragon was talking. She took her 20%. So where's my knife? She vanquished the greed dragon. But what happens next Monday when the fear dragon, and she's looking at down 20%.
Yeah.
And down 25 and down 30.
And you notice the market's hot. The sector's hot. It'll come back.
Where's the news? You know, she's Googling, you know, and she's like going to the board of directors for Mara, you know. Like,
can I coach you guys? Can I coach you guys so you can come back?
Yeah. You know, she's like, hey, I like his resume. You know, these seem they you know, and then you know, and then it goes to the webpage, you know, and goes to financials. Now she's down 35%, you know.
Oh, let's hope I don't do that. Let's hope I don't do that.
But seriously, that you know, that's where, you know, and again, this is all a process, and I'm glad with the rubber finally hit the road, baby. But yeah, that's gonna be, you know, the next step is you're at your down 112, and what does Kim do? You know, all joking aside, does Kim start justifying?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think I'm too conservative, but like, we don't know until I'm
good.
If I see go down $50, I'm gonna be like, get the hell out, get the hell out.
I've got to say, I've been on YouTube and the podcast and everything. Spoke to probably thousands of traders, and I'm yet to meet one that hasn't lost composure at some time and just made that fatal error. I'm yet to meet one.
I'm sure I've
met a lot of people. But I've met a lot of people who say, no, because I remember being in Dubai and I had pals being like, oh, like, let's say I lost $1,000, I didn't cut it. My pals would be like, that would never be me. It's my favorite thing when people say it. That would never happen to me. I've got kids, I've got a family. I couldn't afford to lose it, so I wouldn't lose it. But
because your brain
that always reminds me of that
dopamine.
I love that because that always reminds me of like the one of my many Joe Rogan references, like when you know, obviously I'm no expert on fighters, Joe Rogan is, and he'll always make fun of like the bro that'd be like, you know, some street fight, and the guy's like, well, you don't know my mentality, man, you know, I wouldn't give up. And it's like, no, if Conor McGregor starts punching you, you would give up. Okay? you would give up. Okay. I don't care what your mentality is. And just like your buddy to be like, oh, I would never do that. Yeah, good luck. But you ain't been there, brother. You ain't been there.
That's it.
And it's like saying, like, you don't know what you would do. Like, everyone has a plan until they're punched in the face. So you don't know what you would do unless you're in the situation.
Plus to that remember that scientific experiment where they had people in a room and you were told that you were going to be giving them an electric shock for their wrong answer. And you had people completely certain that they would never be, you know, torture people or never, and yet they were being rewarded.
Up to the machine? Is Steven hooked up?
No, he is not.
I wouldn't even wait for him
to be tortured.
I wouldn't even
deserve to be tortured.
They'd be like, Steven, what is it? I'd be like, wrong answer. What color is that? Wrong answer.
You're so mean. You're so mean.
But
that is an example of people. We think we will show up a certain way in certain situations, then the reality proves. And that is, you know, that's why I think it's so important for us to not think we have the monopoly on truth, because we don't know until we're in that circumstance. It also hopefully keeps people from judging everybody. Like, we're all in judgment. How could he do that? How could she do that? Well, if we were in that situation, maybe we would have done the same thing. So I'm not thinking I won't lose my composure, Stephen. I know myself well enough to know I will lose my composure. So that's part of why I'm being very kind of like cautious, because I know that the body is hardwired to make me screw up this. And so I'm kind of baked that into my recipe, you know?
No, but you've got started, and that's super cool, and see how you're going. Yeah, I mean, you're in profit. That's 95% ahead of you're in the 5%. We're all in. You're in the 5%.
Of course, the profitable traders. Obviously, I'm no mathematician, but with one trade, it's kind of like 50-50 chance. You know?
Well, we're all profitable traders on the podcast. I nearly wasn't the other day, but we all are. We all made it through together. we're all in profit for the first time ever.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's exciting. I'll tell you, though, I definitely was like, what's the next one going to be? You know, like, I can feel that hunger. And over the weekend, too, you know, every morning when I woke up, I ran to my laptop and I was like, What happened last night? Like, and that's what I want, why I wanted to do this. Cause I was like, I just want to see what that feels like and see if I get hooked, which I think I'm getting hooked. So.
But just to say,
just wait till you're like, you're short overnight a stock and you wake up in night terrors at 2:30 a.m. and the market's closed, but you're still checking the price. I've done that.
Yeah.
NASDAQ's closed 2:30 in the morning, but I'm still checking. And I'm like, what am I doing right now? But
I was doing that last night.
You held SEKT overnight?
Yeah. But I mean, I watched it. I was awake till I watched it. I watched every hour of After Hours, and then I watched every hour of morning. Like, I'm not. So I mean, people don't know. Like, I nearly lost everything in SEKT last night. Nearly blew up my account. Got away to a degree. Got away with it, but I didn't get away with it because the emotional damage is like I was out for a walk and I was in a fog. Like I was like in trading. I have to take a few days off. Like I'm gone. I can't. I've got no focus. But
sorry.
Yeah, but it's part of trading. But you think that you've got it, and whenever you think you've got it the most is when you've got it the least.
Yeah.
But but it's okay. I mean, I just need to really size down and work on me discipline. Nothing terrible happened. But more importantly for you, the StocksToTrade VWAP scan is your best friend.
Yep, especially
on
in time
stocks.
zone.
Yep. I got it.
That's what we looked at.
Matthew Monaco webinar.
Bryce and I looked at that.
Got it from Tim Bohen.
Beautiful, nice.
We did. We looked at the VWAP, and that's what I think that was part of what informed my decision to choose Mara of the other 2 or 3 that were available to me because of where the VWAP was.
But I've got a scan that I took off a Matthew Monaco webinar. Matthew Monaco took it from Tim Bohen somewhere down the line.
Wow.
And it's a scan that you run in the afternoon, and it shows you 5 stocks that are holding within a range of VWAP. In the afternoon that are up a certain percent. And I've been trialing it out, and pretty much all of the stocks on the scan that I buy from the scan, I make money on long. And I'm a terrible long trader.
Wow.
So if you're in the habit of wanting to buy stuff late day because of the time in Hawaii, you're buying from that VWAP scan, the stronger daily charts to gap them the next day. It could be a seriously profitable strategy for you.
It was interesting because, he really did allow me to see, here's your choices. If you want to go this direction towards the crypto play with what's going to happen with Bitcoin. And of those 3, because I do keep looking at the StocksToTrade every day to just watch things. And I was like, I felt like I saw something in the Mara that I didn't see in the others. And I think that was to do with the VWAP. So,
and it's funny, that's again something I've talked about in so many webinars right now. And I even joke, it's like the drinking game, the coffee drinking game. It's like there's just so much going on. I just tell people, whatever sector you gravitate towards, whether it's EVs or crypto or social media or whatever it is, just go to that sector and then filter down. And then ultimately, there's so many movers. Sometimes it's just a gut. And if it's like, hey, for whatever, especially in your newer brain, the chart of Mara looked better than Riot or BTBT or BTCS. There you go.
Yeah. So Tim, what would you say then, perhaps, at least for the beginning, should I stay in the crypto plays for a period of time to just
right now? I mean, listen, Mara's not looking bad right now, actually.
What's it at?
47. It's above VWAP. Mara gapped up this morning to 50 early in pre-market when because Bitcoin is, keep in mind, Kim, and I'm sure you found this out, and most of the listeners know, Bitcoin tends to make the biggest moves at night, mainly because the U.S. stock market's closed and all of us degenerates need something to do. Plus, there's a lot of people in Asia that trade crypto a lot. So you tend to get those middle of the night moves, which we got on Bitcoin. Mara gapped up to 50, pulled back, and been under VWAP all day, bounced off of a green to red move, which is bullish. So it tried to go red, bounced, and then it just broke through VWAP, as of 20 minutes ago, perking up right here at 47, probably not a bad potential entry if this holds up. 47.48, you risk down on a VWAP fail. Down around 46, you're risking $2 a share. The thesis would be Bitcoin stays strong. Maybe it breaks 50, it breaks all-time highs, and you sell it like 52. Your goal would be $6 a share, risking $2 a share. And if you got 10 shares, you're risking, $20 to make 60.
Yeah. What did you say, Stephen? I shouldn't have sold it.
Yeah, wait for 100. Wait for 100, and if it goes lower, just add.
Actually, this is the funny part. So we're
just add and add.
Remember Zom? Remember Zom, the Carol Baskin pump?
That looked like it was breaking out again. I haven't seen it.
It hit 3 like last week. Okay, remember? Remember Kim, you might not remember the Carol Baskin pump.
I do.
It was like at 50 cents, and we joked and we joked and we joked.
Yeah.
It hit an all-time high like last week at some point at $3. And now they're like now, and they did an offering, so now they got cash. So this is the wildest thing, and I can't remember if we joked before that, or no, we talked about it with Riot and Mara.
Yeah.
Now Zom, this cat device maker in Ann Arbor, Michigan, just a couple hours from me. Now, thanks to some Yahoo on Cameo paying Carol Baskin, I don't remember what the offering was. You can look it up. They got millions, and the stock's near highs. They'll probably dilute again, and next thing you know, whatever their cat device we'll probably all be ordering one. I got enough damn cats around here, thanks to my wife and daughter. But that being said, joking aside, I mean, we're recording February 17th. Depending on when you're listening, Mara's at 47 right now. Bitcoin's at 52,000. Probably by the time this thing airs, Bitcoin will be 75,000 and Mara will be 100. So
you guys think I should get into Mara again?
It's 137. If this is still trending higher into that 2 p.m. window, which the first thing you're going to do is you're going to quit talking in this stupid non-Eastern time zone crap. Okay. If there's one thing I will beat into everyone's head, there's only one time zone that matters. Okay. All other time zones are fugazi. Okay. They're made up. They're imaginary. None of this exists. It's like flat Earth, okay? There's one time zone. One.
Okay, fine. All right.
I even work off dollars these days. And people are like, oh, how much is that?
There's one currency.
Such and such pounds. I'm like, oh, what's that in dollars? Because I don't work in pounds.
Pounds is a weight. This thing of alpha brain weighs
it's a pound.
a pound, okay? There's one currency. There's one time zone. So that means.
Did you get your blood test? I know we're recording, but did you get your blood test?
What do you think?
No, because you got to do it, dude. It's got to happen tomorrow or Friday.
Okay.
Because you guys have to come back to our next episode because we're going to be recording with a doctor. We're going to be doing a whole full blood work on.
I'm trying to talk you through a trade right now, and you're.
I'm sorry.
Lecturing me about how backed up I am on everything.
Okay, so keep going.
If it's, I would say if it's still trending above VWAP into the 2 p.m. window, as long as it's above VWAP, it's a potential buy with Bitcoin breaking out. Okay, so
and then how long would you suggest I hold it for?
The one thing I would say is, again,
yeah,
I think 50 plus is a reasonable goal. I would sell if you get your 50 plus. Now, what are you comfortable with? Do you want to swing trade? Multiple days.
I'm okay with that. I just don't want to lose more than $112.
Well, then just, again, pick your position size. So let's say, let me write this. So let's say you buy at 47.50, nice whole dollar, half dollar. So we're going to, the theory would be you'd be risking $2 a share on a $50 stock. So you buy 50 shares. Okay. So if you hit your stop at 45.50, you just lost $100 plus commission. So so if you get stopped at 45.50, that's your acceptable loss.
Okay.
And then your goal would be that 3-to-1 risk to reward. So $6 a share would put you at 53.50. I mean, it was at the thing is with Mara, it was at 50.45 this morning. So I mean, could this hit 53 in the next few days or weeks as a swing trade? I certainly think it's feasible as long as Bitcoin keeps trending. Now that's the one thing you got to do.
So how do I find that out?
So
how do I find out if Bitcoin will keep trending?
well,
What would you look to?
You're just a degenerate like the rest of us, and you watch it 24/7, and you never set your phone down. And when people are like talking to you, you just nod and smile and pretend like you're listening to them. And then you walk into the wall, and and people ask you what you did yesterday, and you don't remember what you did yesterday because you stared at this fucking computer 12 hours a day, screaming at it. Which is what Steven and I do every single day.
Doesn't sound healthy.
Most of our listeners probably do. Yeah.
Sound healthy.
And you basically do it until you get ill or something terrible happens.
Well said. Well said. Until you fall over, you're like sleeping off, or something terrible happens, and you're like, I'm fucking done. And then
you see you taking a week off, and you come back the next day.
Week. I'm proud of you for that. I'm like next day. I'm like, I didn't mean it.
I'm not joking. I've not took a day. I've not traded in about 4 years. I've not checked the market in about 4 years.
And how many times have you said you're going to take a week off?
About 20. About 20 times I say I'm done. I'm taking a week off. I've just lost a couple of thousand. I need to take time. Next day I'm there 7 a.m.
Right there with you, brother.
It's a love-hate game, but mostly it's love.
All right, we'll see. Well, I don't think I can operate that way, but I hear that.
We'll get you there. We'll get you there.
Yeah.
Keep hanging out with Steven and I. We'll get you there.
I don't think I want to be there.
You do and you don't, but you kind of.
I want to be somewhere in this healthy balance. I don't want to be walking into walls.
So it's overrated. It's overrated. Yeah,
it is.
The rest of living life is overrated. I can't take my phone out when I paddle. Nothing's allowed to go out of the canoe.
You'll get like a waterproof bag or
exactly. Yep. You'll figure it out. They got those ram mounts. You mount that to front of your kayak. You put it in there. The waterproof case. You're good.
Canoe,
kayak. You say tomato. I say tomato. What the
Shall we wrap it up?
A pond or a pool. Ponder a pool. The pond would be good for you, Steven. What's that a reference from?
No idea.
Carl. Caddyshack. Don't tell me you haven't watched Caddyshack.
I haven't seen Caddyshack.
You haven't seen Caddyshack?
What did you people do with your lives?
Is it a golf movie or something?
Yes, but it's one of the greatest.
It's Bill Murray. It's a Bill Murray movie.
Caddyshack. I'll watch it tonight.
Bill Murray.
You'll like
Chase.
that. Yeah. Sure. Give him Caddyshack. Give me a thing that would completely screw up my head for the rest of my life. Where's my Caddyshack?
I was planning on once my parents went to bed, since it's me last night, I was planning on a special treat where I would leave all the windows open and leave the front door open unlocked and then watch The Shining and then just go to sleep.
I tell you, the book, and Kim, if you and to all of you out there, if you think the movie is the book, I bet you again, I've always liked the movie and been a big fan of Stephen King, but it's hard to read all his stuff.
Yeah.
I would say 20 years ago, so I was probably, 30. I read The Shining. And it's like, dude, I mean, I'm like hearing stuff and the book, man, it will haunt you.
I read Night Shift, which is a collection of short stories. I didn't even finish it because I think I got 2 or 3 stories in and I found myself not being able to sleep at night, checking the closets, looking into the bed. I was like, I think I can't do this. And that was when I hung up horror. I was like, can't do it.
So you're just gonna roll over on watching The Shining.
Yeah, I don't think I can.
You're not gonna sack up, as they say.
We'll do it together.
Yeah, why don't
I'm sure there'll be a conference. We'll get it.
We could do like a 2.5 hour podcast where we do a viewing party. Yeah.
I'll be like holding my ears and closing my eyes. Like
I'm gonna talk. I like this. I'm gonna talk to Nicole and see if she's willing to take on editing that. I like
I'll
this.
watch The Shining, but
Yeah,
also,
and then we
I'll-
we would basically we wouldn't be able to show the movie because of copyright stuff.
yeah,
But we'd be able to record us, and then Nicole could, I think it's over 2 hours long.
Mm.
I like this idea.
I'll do it. Yeah, I'll also short a low front runner and not cut it, and we'll run it parallel
During The Shining. Wow.
And I'll tell you what I'm most scared of.
But
The Shining I'll watch. I'll watch Shining. I'll definitely watch The Shining on live stream with you guys.
I like this idea. Actually, let's end this. This was fun. Kim, thank you. Number
Thank
one,
you.
the best part of this podcast was your introspection and your going through that first trade.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We got it. As usual, we went off in the weeds a little bit, but drop us a comment. I mean, it'd be, great. I'm probably going to make another reference again. Do you guys remember Mystery Science Theater?
I
Not.
do. I think you have to be a little older. It's a little older, and it was an after-school special in the United States. Give him a break. I don't think he had that there. He didn't have that in England.
Anyway,
He's too young.
drop us a comment. Let us. Obviously there'll be some trading related banter. It'll be. We got to. We'll have that webcam locked on Kim
No,
the
you
entire time.
Zoomed.
Yep. I like this idea. So drop us a comment. What do you think about the Steady Trade team viewing party of The Shining? Also, let us know what you think about the promo of the low float short seller. Again, I'm looking to make my acting debut. I've had a couple modeling gigs. I've never acted, but I'd like to make that acting debut as the low float Jack Torrance stuck in the Overlook Hotel. This has been a dream of mine for years. So let us know what you think. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you. Check on Mara as we're wrapping up. It's 1:47 p.m. Mara's currently at 46.80. VWAP's currently 46.15. The high a day is 50.15, but that was a 4 a.m. print. So I'd call the real high day probably more of like 49.50 would be the more real high a day. What is Bitcoin at? Just to update everybody.
Yeah.
Bitcoin is at 51,525, only $200 from all-time highs, which when you're talking about a $51,000 asset, I'm too dumb to do the percentage. That's like what, 0.1% from all-time highs. So check out Mara on February 17th. Have a great day, Kim. Have a great day, Steven. Head over to SteadyTrade.com for links to everything. Subscribe, share with your friends, and we'll see you next time.